Welcome to Mining Investment Middle East and Central Asia Conference in Oman. So
Thank
perhaps
you.
you could let our viewers know more about yourself.
Okay, I'll do so. My name is Marino Pieterse. I'm a strategic metal analyst. I'm publishing Goldletter International and Uranium Letter International and Rare Earth Metal International. So 3 publications on gold, on uranium and rare metals.
So perhaps you could share with us your insights on the outlook for gold, uranium, as well as the rare metals for the rest of 2017 on to 2018.
Okay, I'll try to.
Okay.
Because, well, it's not really a personal opinion. My opinion as a fundamental analyst is based on facts.
Sure.
So always discussing and disputing with people, having an opinion which is not really based on facts, but on what the media are saying. And when we talk about gold, I mean, I have a rather neutral approach right now. After having, in my publications, actually paid attention to the fact that gold was at a certain moment last year undervalued. It had a low of about 1100, and I said, well, actually, the markets are always overvaluating both sides, negative or positive. At that time, it was, in my opinion, negative. And I said I'm expecting a recovery up to a level of 1300, and well, by the end of the year, it took a little bit longer because of geological problems and all kinds of things going on in the world, which you really don't have, you can't judge on their influence on gold. But not that long ago, the gold price was 1300, but then declined again. In contrast to most people, there is a myth of gold, I think, on its monetary instrumental valuation, and also actually on let's say, a hedge against the dollar. And most people think, let's say from the past, that there is still that conjunction between the dollar and gold. And well, in my presentation I gave the overview, as I said, well, there is no correlation between the dollar and the euro on a longer period of time, especially after China entered the World Trade Organization. Then the world order changed from a financial point of view, from an economical point of view, and what you saw was that there was a shift of economic power, but also of wealth, from the Western world actually to Asia, led by China. And I think that has been missed by a lot of people, the importance of that shift. Because, well, the Western world, a little bit arrogant, they still think that they reign the world as a power, world power. But when you really look at the current events, you see that China nowadays already controls the financial markets and the commodity markets. Financial markets is quite interesting to see because, let's say, the financial community expect that the euro to get power to increase in value because of the European Union and also of introducing the euro. Well, the first few years that happened really, so the dollar declined against the euro, but now there's a lot of troubles from a political point of view in Europe, overall in Europe, and that has to do with nationalization, and you have seen it already with the United Kingdom leaving the Eurozone. And what you, no, not the Eurozone, the European Union. And what you also see now, the elections in Germany, in France, in the Netherlands and other countries, they are all in the direction of nationalism, and that is weakening the position of Europe. And specifically led by Germany, you see that Angela Merkel, she still won the elections, but lost a lot of confidence from actually the people in the country. And I expect that within, she has only 4 years to govern. She already governed for 8 years, so the 12 years is the maximum. I expect that she will actually leave as a chancellor within 2 years or so, because the problems going on with refugees, Also, let's say on the energy problems they have because they had a ban on uranium. So there's a lot of situations going on. Also smaller countries like Hungary, other European countries. There's political stress with Turkey, political stress with Poland. So I'm negative actually on Europe and the euro. And that means that because that's the only important euro also then with the Japanese yen, regarding to the dollar. So I expect the dollar actually to stay robust. And I expect, because there is no alternative. The alternative is actually the yuan right now, because China is the second economy in the world, but there is already a peg between the dollar and the Chinese yuan for a long time. First formally, and the last 5 years actually still on a voluntary basis. But you see they are very narrowly connected to each other, which I also showed, of course, in my publication. So what's your opinion about gold right now? From a fundamental point of view, I am negative, not negative, but neutral, I have to say, at the current level between 1250 and 1300. And when there will be an increase, and that is quite possible because I expect a further increase to a level of 1400. That's not because of fundamentals, that's not because of the position of the dollar against gold or the other way around. It is just for geopolitical reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe the next question. As a first-time speaker here at the Mining Investment Middle East and Central Asia Conference, how has this experience benefited you?
Well, that's quite interesting for me because I've always focused on the traditional countries and then of the leading emerging countries, including China specifically, but also in Russia. So the first time I didn't understand exactly what the position was of the Arab countries. I got interested at the time that the Arab countries, the VAE, I guess, that they decided actually to build nuclear reactors.
Okay.
And then I said, well, listen, Arab, the number one, the whole Arab situation, the number one on oil production in the world, they are going for now reactors, you know. So that got my interest. And then I was amazed to hear that there are a lot of opportunities of investment in Oman on, well, mostly industrial commodities, but also on copper.
Yep.
So I learned a lot actually of these opportunities, and I certainly will pay attention to it in one of my next publications.
Thank you very much.